This is the Hawk, March 2020, South Africa. 21 farm attacks, 3 murders in 31 days. While the government's supposed to be looking after its people, it's allowing criminals to run freely. Johannesburg market today, thousands of people just went on a rampage, stealing and looting and taking over. There's absolutely no control. Mass crowds overtaking whatever security there is, no police in place, no military in place. Military, all they're doing is beating up civilians, making them roll on the floor and do push-ups. However, I warned yesterday about false, fake soldiers. It's been reported soldiers entered an elderly woman, 75 years old's home and raped her repeatedly and stole her stuff. This is the South African government. Farmers are being attacked every single day now. Lena Marx, the ambassador to South Africa, is well aware of what's going on. However, the United States gave this government 8 million rand. There are no tents. There are no test equipment. There are no face masks. There's nothing. Where did the money go? Who used the money and for what? This is the US aid program. What did they do with the money? There is absolutely no one tent available for anybody, especially the informal settlements where there's no facilities. There's no portable toilets. There's nothing. People are packed 6 deep in some of these shacks. Armies going in there trying to threaten people to self-contain themselves in shacks that are made of metal in the middle of summer with absolutely no air conditioning. The South African government has lost control. The president of South Africa is dressed in fatigues, military fatigues. Now, the last time I saw this, these were terrorist governments like Cuba, Venezuela, and many others. What was the point of the military fatigues? What is the point of the United States sending $9.4 billion to a country that is wasting the money, and a government, politicians who are putting that money in their pockets? We, the United States citizens, must not aid and abet a criminal organization called the African National Congress. The African National Congress consists of the South African Communist Party and the United Trade Unions, as well as the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, and they try to deny it. And there's many of them that come on my channel and try to threaten me. What they don't realize, I'm already there. I'm among them. I'm all over you. I'm everywhere. And people are listening because you know what? Every person in South Africa, black and white, want to go home in safety, want running water, want clean, sanitized areas, want clean schools, want a job, want money, want a car, want to live in a decent house, do not want to be worried about walking home or their daughters walking home and their wives walking home and their grandmothers, their gokos, and the little pickaninny girls going home and not be raped, not by one person, by many, by tsotsis, getting into taxis and being raped, going to school and being raped, and teachers going to school and not being beaten up because they didn't pass 25%. There's something terribly wrong with this picture. We must not aid and abet and embolden this government anymore. Right now, the entire population is not listening to this government. They're telling people to go shopping at certain times. This allows thousands and thousands of people to come out at one time, line right on top of each other because there's so many people. Once one person's affected, it will affect many, many more. Nobody's listening. And the reason nobody's listening is because nobody respects this government. Because the entire government of South Africa are a bunch of corrupt criminals from Ramaphosa down. It is funny how the brave Malema has disappeared like a child, a coward, run away. Somebody told me the other day, the EFF is in many countries. Well, I advise you all to get rid of this pig, this little boy, this criminal, because he's just another Hitler, another Ramaphosa, another Stalin, another useless African leader who cannot provide for his people. What has Malema done for any of you? What has the ANC done for any of you? Absolutely nothing. To the United States citizens, the taxpayers of the United States, we cannot aid and abet a criminal government far worse than Venezuela, who are murdering farmers every day, are condoning these murders by denying them internationally. They violated human rights by now demanding to take land from legitimate citizens because of the color of their skin and refuse to compensate them for their land they've lived on for 350 years. No, I say no more. I don't care what color you are. The South African government, the ANC government, this corrupt, evil entity that was a terrorist organization, as was Mandela, he was not forgiven. He did not find remorse for what he did during the period of his murder reign, when he killed women and children, black and white, in train stations, supermarkets, and other places. He was not remorseful after 27 years. Look at the interviews. He was arrogant, unapologetic, supported Libya, Iran, and all these terrorist organizations and governments. And yet you supported him and gave him a Nobel Peace Prize, just like you gave Obama, the traitor of the United States, the biggest traitor this country has ever seen. Do not believe the ghosts. Do not believe the nonsense. Do not believe the rhetoric. Look outside the box at the true color of these people. And it's not black, it's evil. It's pure evil. The ANC has done absolutely nothing for the South African people. Absolutely nothing. They have wasted billions and billions on Eskom, wasted billions and billions on nonsense. Their cars, they have not built schools, roads, nothing. And now this virus. And the reason I'm saying this is because these hospitals are so ill-equipped, so undermanned, so undertrained, and do not have enough supplies to deal with this epidemic. Now, to all the people that are out there, that are at home, those that have families on farms, it is time to go out to the farms and support your parents and the old people and warn them. They're scared. They don't understand. Warn them. Do not allow anybody into your home. Tell them to stay there. You're calling the police to verify that they are allowed to come in to do inspections. Tell them you're calling the military to ask who is there. Do not allow them in your house. If anything, tell them you're under quarantine for the coronavirus and they will leave. As for the farmers, people contact them, warn them. They're extremely vulnerable right now. The police are not coming. The military is not coming. You it. And it's time to deal with this problem severely. You need to get your farm workers together and lie detector test them. Not because you have to, but because they're being threatened by the outsiders. And if they do not help them, they will be murdered too. Most of the time, they pushed into this with a gun against their heads. To the families of the farmers, do not abandon them out there. In this time, during this period, you should be with them. All this government is doing is killing the entire population, because when there is no food, just like you saw in the Johannesburg market today, people will just take over and there will be no control. And none of these politicians will be immune to what is coming. I say right now, it is time. No matter what means, by all means, everything, sanctions, no more aid. We will break this government. The only thing they want is money. They're not interested in the people. They are not supplying you with what they were supposed to be. They are there to serve you, not themselves. This is the Hawk. Subscribe to my channel. Please share. Share to United States citizens. They must be aware that the United States is supplying South Africa with $9.4 billion in aid every year. They vote 90% against us in the UN. They are in sanction violations by supplying Iran with military equipment. They are supporting them with oil, diesel. They have military training camps in South Africa that are aiding Hamas, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. There's also Boko Haram in Mozambique. And when my internet's back up, I will send you video of what is actually happening in the north of Mozambique. We must not aid and abet and embolden this country to do what they are doing. We must recall Lena Marx, the ambassador to South Africa. She is South African born. She is emboldening this government by praising them publicly and has admitted that the United States is giving the South African government $9.4 billion a year in aid. And they are not our friends. They have actually threatened us in Venezuela with military action. They're in support of the Chinese military in South Africa, and they are the support of the Russian military in South Africa, and they are doing exercises with them. They are not the United States friends. In every opportunity they can, they go against us. Why are we helping them? It is time to say no more. I have a petition link in my description below. Please subscribe to that petition, sign it, share it to every citizen that you know in the United States. We, as citizens of the United States, must no more support and embolden an evil government. The UN stats, and you can go look them up, South Africa has the highest murder rate in the world. And as it stands today, over 60 people are murdered a day in that country. Over 80,000 white people are murdered since 1994. That's not including the rape cases of every color and every age, from 100 years old to 2-year-old girls. And the government does nothing, and we are giving them $9.4 billion. The only way to stop this is to cut them off, give them no money to survive, and have them removed by any means or anyhow. This is the Hawk. I'm out of here. Please share, subscribe, like, hit the like button, hit the bell for upcoming videos, and let everybody know what's really going on in South Africa. This is the Hawk. I'm out of here.